All right, guys. So I just blew majority of my accounts. I won't lie. One of the biggest reasons why I blew them right now, honestly, and I'll do reality was one, I risked way too damn much. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did not manage risk. I entered the market super aggressively with so many contracts. Um, and I didn't manage the right amount of like leverage I needed to take the stop loss. So let's go to the 1 minute here. I'm gonna show you guys the trade idea. So majority of them are blown. I won't lie, they're cooked, and we have to get another set. But so we bought it at 151, 75 right here, and then we got stopped out around 101. Right there, and here was the trade idea. So I was aiming for a 1 to 1.5, risking 2%, and I did get in a little bit early. I won't lie. Let me recalibrate real quick, and then I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So let's go over this. This was around 10 cons, 50-point stop. The biggest mistake here was just not being able to manage risk correctly. That's my biggest mistake. So I know a lot of people are probably gonna flame me, but I know what I'm doing. I promise you. The biggest thing that I did wrong was I just put 10 cons and I just entered blindly, emotionally. I thought the 3-minute inversion was nice, so this is what I was using as the main confluence of entry was the 3-minute inversion. I saw ES pushing up higher. I was like, all right, this looks nice. The 15-minute sharp while I'm on MNQ, not really. Now we probably can move. Now we probably can have some form of displacement here off of this 1-minute inversion. But my main entry should have been the 3-minute inversion and having the closure. That's my biggest mistake here was I did not have a closure. Even though on the volume profile, everything was showing strength. Everything was showing bullishness. We're above value area. We're above the point of control. We're holding this high volume node with the most amount of bullish delta. When I know we're gonna move, but the idea or the entry and the execution is where everything went wrong in the confirmation. And this is something that I need to just fix in terms of like, why am I risking the improper amount? Like with the stop loss placement. I'm risking 10 cons with a 50-point stop when in all the reality I should have just waited and put it at the rejection block and just erased like 2 contracts and then aimed for a bigger take profit, And then another thing too is like, why don't you wait for the confirmation of the 3-minute inversion and the change in the state of delivery? Even though here we had bullish, buyers coming in, stepping in, pushing price higher, and then we have some form of SMT now of a CVD. This still isn't enough for me. This is why I don't use order flow in terms of like executions, because again we had aggressive sellers and we had aggressive buyers step in, and we bought after the aggressive buyers, and then we had it stop, a super tight stop loss, and then guess what, we got stopped out. That's why you wait for the inversion. That's why you wait for these higher. I don't know, I just can't enter off of that, and I did today, and I got cooked. And context, location, all the good stuff, but there's no other form of confluence that I can see here today playing out. We're hitting the call wall, we're bouncing off of it, clear bullishness, honestly, and I just got cooked. I just improper risk amount, improper entry, everything else looked nice, bro, and I knew this trade was gonna run. I know the market's gonna be bullish. I put it in the Discord. The thing is, the entry, and the timing of the entry is always incorrect for me in terms of like just being impatient, not waiting for the closures, especially at 9:30. I always tell myself, wait for the first 15-minute candle to form, and same thing for the first 30 minutes. Wait for the market to give you some nice PA to then eventually give you the right move. Because again, majority of 9:30 opens to 10 a.m. or 9:45 are going to be the Judas swing. They're going to be the manipulation, and they're going to continue to stall until a certain time, which is most likely after 9:45 or 10 a.m. to then eventually move to that, draw on liquidity. And again, I know this, but I just keep making the same error every single time. And now I'm just going to be patient, buy a new set, with the payout money, and just work on my entries, work on my patience, and just work on being more, what's the word, like systematic, more disciplined. more in tune with my model and being more patient and just like, I don't know, just like, yeah, that's pretty much really it. Honestly, all I can do, because again, I have a winning system. I know what works. I've seen it multiple times. It has an edge. Like, now it's really just me. And every time I look at myself in the mirror, you know, like, I keep making these silly mistakes. So I'm gonna have to just eliminate that room for error and be more strict and more disciplined with myself. And you know, just continue to risk the amount I'm risking. I don't think that's a bad thing, honestly. You don't want to be on these prop firms for too long, especially in terms of like evals. You don't want to be on evals forever. You don't want to be on the fundeds too long either. You know, like you want to be getting winning days, taking like, you know, like super high quality setups. Every single setup you take should be a high quality, no matter what. And this trade to me was a high quality setup. I just didn't wait for the right, the right closure, and I didn't have the right amount of risk. You know, like on the 1 minute time frame, that 50-point stop just got eliminated. It got obliterated right around here. Obliterated right there. You see that? It got obliterated by one wick, one candle's wick, bro. Like, that's how you know, like, that's, an improper stop loss. Should have it at the rejection block or at the low. And then I know this, but I just keep making these silly mistakes. And yeah, that's really it. Today's PA really isn't that difficult. I just was impatient, didn't wait, and then improper risk and stop loss placement. So that's pretty much really the mistakes we made to blow majority of the fundeds, even though we had one loss in us. And again, this is why it's so important. Whenever you're risking so much, make sure you're taking the highest quality setups. Make sure every setup you filter it out and you wait and you're disciplined. And that's what I didn't do, and you get punished like this. So that's pretty much really it. Peace.